Fact sheet. The Stock Act bans members of Congress from insider trading. This is from a press release on April 4th, 2012 from the White House. Who was president then? That was Barack Obama. And fact sheet, the Stock Act bans members of Congress from insider trading. It says, send me a bill that bans insider trading by members of Congress. I will sign it tomorrow, said Obama. The Stock Act. Today, the president signed into law the Stock Act, a bipartisan bill that prevents members of Congress from trading stocks based on non-public information they gleaned on Capitol Hill. Wow, that was in 2012. What happened in 2013? Oh, they gutted it.
The Stock Act?
The Stock Act. Congress guts the Stock Act. Just 1 year later.
Good evening, Ape Nation. Guys, what's going on? It is Friday, March 11th, 2022. That clip that we just watched was uploaded yesterday to Jimmy Dore's channel. It is from the Jimmy Dore Show. He is on with METZGER, and they were discussing Congress and how they are profiting off of Russia's invasion into Ukraine. And there were some interesting points that I want to bring to your attention. I also want to get into Treys' video on dilution from yesterday, talk about the difference between an ETF and an index fund, and the fuzzy math around the float and how much of it retail owns on AMC. And if we have time, I'm going to try to dive into this June 3rd, 2021 executive order. Did it have any effect on AMC? All that and a lot more when we come back from the intro. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
cue the speeder.
Cue the speeder.
This is the way.
all right, so before we get started, really quickly, let me just mention, this is your first time to my channel, clicking on one of my videos, welcome. I'm a journalist, but I'm also a retail investor. I have a large position in AMC, smaller position in GME. I believe in the MOASS. This channel, we don't talk dates, times, or prices, but we do discuss any news relevant to AMC or the broader market. I'd like to wrap up this Jimmy Dore segment real quick by playing you kind of the meat of the video, and then we're going to get into all these different things with AMC. By the way, just looking at a quick price check for today, AMC closed the day down. Oof, that's a bad number. Down $1.02, closing out at $14.30, down 6.66%. And GME, if we take a quick look, was down 7.83%, almost about $8, closing at $92.69. But guys, there's a lot of reasons behind that, right? We had CPI data came back that sucked, and the whole market's kind of getting dragged down with this Ukraine-Russia thing. But there are people making money. But of course, we know Congress is not asleep at the wheel. This Stock Act is an acronym, and I'm going to pop it up on the screen so you can see what it stands for. But what happened was the following year, as the picture shows you here, with no hearings or notice to the public or to most members of the body, the Senate voted by unanimous consent to remove both the online disclosure requirement for staff members on the Hill and in executive branch agencies, and the creation of a public database containing the information within the reports.
These trades are unusual, as many had not purchased energy before. You want to see this? This is the members of Congress that beat the Standard & Poor's. It's the S&P 500, right? So the average of investors, these people beat them. These Congress people. They beat it in 2021. Austin Scott, Brian Mast. So these are Republicans, blues are Democrat. All these people beat the S&P. There's Nancy Pelosi. She's the 6th person on the list. She did 6th best on her stocks. Isn't that nice? You're being ruled by corrupt criminals. If you think that Russia is more corrupt than our Congress and our president, you are a chump. If you think some other country is more bloodthirsty, is more imperialistic, and it is more of a oppressor to their people You've been propagandized.
So this video goes on a little further, talks about a couple other subjects besides just who in Congress is making what. He goes in and talks about some of the politicians out there that have put money. There's actually from tweets from Unusual Whales about different congressmen who had invested in a bunch of energy stocks that never had before. The corruption is rampant, and as you can tell by this chart, it is blue and red, makes no difference, both sides of the aisle. And that's why I keep saying that I really have no political party, because I think they are all crooked and corrupt. So we did make a video last night. I had tons of comments to answer from the last couple of days. So guys, if you hadn't got an answer from me in the comments, if you check today, I covered, I think, all the way back to Monday, went back to answer everyone, and that kept me up for a while. So I didn't get a chance to make a video, but I did see that Trey put out a video about dilution, and we had talked about this Wednesday night, and I said I thought it was a bad idea. He kind of just reiterated some of the points that I had made on Wednesday. We had talked about, you know, with these bigger channels, I'm glad the same message is going out. So I feel like that's excellent. Good for us, good for retail, good for AMC. Now, I know there was a little bit of confusion Wednesday night. I said that we were trying to figure out where those extra 3 million shares came from, that the total float was up to 516. Somehow in the last couple of days, I don't know where it sprang from, but there's been a lot of talk about the numbers being way off. And I think it's just maybe some simple math things as far as percentages go. But it's important, guys, to understand the difference between ETFs and index funds. They are different, and you need to take all that into account, trying to break down the float into percentages of who owns what. And when you're doing the math, you're not going to want to subtract those from your total float. So hopefully that's cleared up and it was just some basic math, and that the numbers from last week are still what they are. Nothing's changed. We're just trying to find out where the other 2.5 million shares came from, and I don't believe that's all compensation for execs, because we can only find about 400,000 shares in between quarters. So for the past couple of days, I've heard a lot about the blockchain technology that ARON has refused to put AMC on or allow AMC to be traded on. And there seems to be some debate back and forth on whether that was ever something that was promised to retail. And of course, everyone's situation is different, right? Everyone out there that's watching right now bought in at different prices and different times. So everyone has an individual stake in this, and it varies right now on whether you are red or green, depending on when you bought. I know for myself personally, back last year, over a year ago, when I bought my first share of AMC, I did not intend on blockchain technology or any other major catalyst causing this squeeze. I never had that intention going in. I didn't buy this stock on the fact that ARON was going to make NFTs, that he was going to put AMC on blockchain, that he was going to create a crypto coin. None of those things were on my mind when I first bought AMC. So I say to you now, if this is the first time you're hearing about AMC going on to blockchain, when you bought your shares, were you planning on that being your catalyst? And was that part of your conviction when you bought? If not, then really in the end, what has changed? Do we need blockchain technology to MOASS? I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't think we necessarily need blockchain technology in our trades in order for this stock to squeeze. But it is a step in the right direction. Again, as far as transparency goes, settlement times, all of that, it's definitely going to help retail to even the playing field in the future. And again, on this channel, I'm a big proponent for change. I want change for the generations coming up behind us, even though sometimes they behave a little crazy. All right, before we wrap this up, I want to get to Ed Glue and his dumbass comment of the week. Ed seems to think that calling the SEC and getting the truth about the transparency and implementation of the new rulings, at least that Lou gives us hope, was what Ed said. And all I'm going to say to that is, Ed, Hope and false hope are two different things. I don't think false hope is good to give to anyone. It's probably more detrimental to your psyche than actually just coming out and saying something negative. Because when those dates, times, and prices come along and they go by, people get frustrated, especially new investors who maybe this is their first move ever in the market and AMC is the only stock that they own. They are looking to you for conviction on this play, and if you continue to let them down over and over and over again, eventually they start to lose faith in you and the stock itself, and that's not what we want to happen. There are a lot of us who are banking on this. I know you guys are, as well as I am. And as far as your theory about how long I've been around, I started my channel a week before your hero, and I've been talking about AMC ever since. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for tonight. We'll get into some other subject matters tomorrow. Don't forget, of course, tomorrow night, live stream, 9 o'clock. I'll be there hopefully on one channel, and you guys can get over there and not be confused like we normally are. I'm trying to work on that. As always, thank you to everyone who is helping out this community and my channel, especially all my modders, Javi, Pam, Natalie, everyone, Liz, who's doing a great job. Thank you guys so much. And those who are helping out in other ways, you know who you are. I appreciate you guys. And to those of you out there that are watching my videos, who are commenting, who are dropping a like, my new subscribers, my OGs, I appreciate each and every one of you. We are here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.